What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Fig Heel YouTube channel, and today we're going to be unboxing the new Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned Classic Superstars Road Warriors. Stay tuned. All right, guys, this is exciting. Today, we are unboxing the new Unsanctioned Classic Superstars Road Warriors, both variations. We'll talk about them. Very, very exciting. The game has changed. It's no longer just Mattel and AEW producing this 6-inch scale at a quality level. We do have Mitch from Hastel Toys producing some. We do know that Zombie Sailor's on the way, but right now, these are the three that are the mainstays in the game. And I'm excited to see how these measure up to everything. First glance, I think they're pretty good from what I am seeing. There's a couple things that I want to comment on just in the package. In the package, I think that the heads on these look like they might be a little bit underscaled. Again, I'm sorry. I am not in my normal room having some work done at the house, so I had to move everything out here, so the lighting isn't exactly ideal, but you know, we're going to work with what we got. Very, very cool, though. I do think the heads look a little bit underscaled. I think that Animal definitely needs the side of his mohawk there. That's definitely missing. But other than that, I think they look really good. I have the original Elite, well, not the original Elite, but the red and black Legion of Doom Elites that we're going to compare them to and see how we feel about everything. But Road Warrior, Animal, and Hawk. The Road Warriors, also known as the Legion of Doom, were iconic professional wrestlers known for their intimidating presence, face paint, and spiked shoulder pads. Animal and Hawk dominated the tag team scene in the 1980s and 1990s with their brute strength, intense style, and finishing off opponents with their signature move, the Doomsday Device. What a rush! Very cool. But time to open them up and see what it's all about. Listen. This is so exciting because, you know, we knew Ringside was in the Bell to Bells, right? We knew they were making those things. They did them for Major. Then they did their own collection, which, you know, they've continued to add on to. But this is something that appeals to the masses. And the reason that this is such a big deal is because Ringside has a much larger clientele, okay? Zombie Sailor Toys, you know, Hastel Toy, Epic Toys, all these independents, they're great. They make great stuff, but they're going to produce stuff at a lower volume because they don't have that wide outreach, right? I mean, Ringside Collectible has relationships with Jazzwares, has relationship with Mattel, has relationships with WWE. We see their advertisements on WWE. Sorry for hitting that. So this is opened up to not just like hardcore collectors on Instagram, but the casual collector all around the world. So this has potential of being a very, very widely distributed item. So we're going to take out the hands, which, by the way, are in the package very well without any of the ties. You guys know that I hate that Mattel does that. They come with interchangeable hands, fists, C-grips, open hands. But personally, I'm probably going to have these guys with 2 fists on. Just because, you know what, I might put the open hand on Animal, have him grabbing his waist, and then the fists on Hawk so he can do the with the tongue out. But we're going to take these out and talk about them. When these first were announced, you know, people had already made up their mind that because it's called Unsanctioned, these are produced by Jazzwares. They are not produced by Jazzwares, and that is confirmed. These are not Jazzwares items. I can understand why people thought that. There are similarities, but there's also similarities from Elites. In my opinion, it looks to me like Ringside took the design of Mattel Elites and Jazzwares Unrivaled and kind of took what they liked about each and made an amalgamation of them. Now, my initial thoughts are, you know, pretty accurate. Animal is missing the sides of the hair, which, you know, you kind of need that. He also doesn't have the ponytail coming down, which he should. That is the hairstyle. I think his arms could be a little bit bigger, but the tattoos are there in great detail. The face paint looks great. Even the likeness on the head looks great. It's tough to say. I really don't know if they're scaled down the heads. Maybe in comparison to this. And to be honest with you, I prefer the head on this one, the actual face on the new one, to the face on this one. But the original Series 30 Elite has the correct hair. I prefer this style face paint as well to the yellow. So, I mean, there's positives to each, right? I think that the shoulder pads look better on the new ones. I think they're multi-dimensional. There's a lot more going on. You've got all the ties, all the spikes are there, and they're nice and pointy. I mean, these are high quality items right here. So let's see what it looks like on. Again, they fit very well. They do have, like, some of the articulation is very Jazzwares-esque with the ratchet joints. The neck joint is like that. They even detach very similar to that of Jazzwares. But when you really look at all of the pieces that we got here, they're not Jazzwares moldings. You can tell that they're different. They're very similar. They're probably made to replicate that and look like that, but they're not identical. In fact, dare I say, I think they're a little bit better than Jazzwares. You know, we have the pinless joints. Check out the knee pads. They don't just slide on. They actually clip on in the back. Road Warriors on the waistband. Road Warrior logos, or whatever you want to call it, that design they would always have on the sides. They do have the buckled boots. I mean, I think they look pretty good. A lot of articulation. They're not super loose, not super tight. I would say that they're just right. But like I said, I am going to put the correct hands, in my opinion, on these figures. Now, here's the thing. Someone got bent out of shape on Instagram because I said that the game has changed and that there's a new person throwing their hat into the 6-inch scale, and that these would be a great alternative or addition to Mattel and Jazzwares. I don't know why that triggered somebody so much, but I stand by that. These make for a great alternative and or a great addition to a Mattel Elite or Unrivaled collection. Now, this is coming from a person who I will not be displaying this with Elites or Unrivaleds. To me, this is its own line, and that's just how I operate. I understand not everybody does. But, yeah, it's a shame that I don't have my other loose Road Warriors to compare it to. But looking at it, I would say that the scale is pretty damn accurate. The scale is pretty damn accurate. I always thought personally that Animal here was a little bit too thick in this Elite. But yeah, I think they look awesome, man. We're going to put... It's so hard to do this unboxing when I'm not in my normal space. And now we're going to take a look at Hawk. Virtually the same lowers, except he's got black knee pads. He's a little bit looser, this Hawk. A little bit looser than the Animal. I think the skin tone's great. A little bit different skin tone from the torso to the chest area, but that's kind of typical with a lot of companies that do that because it's different plastics. He does have the textured hair, the inverted mohawk, which is great. Again, the articulation in the neck. Great paint apps on the face. It looks just like Mike Hegstrand. So far, I am digging these. I think that these are an awesome piece, but we're going to put those fists on so that we can it's interesting. The right fist does not bend. It's very stiff, so I gotta have to play with that after and get that a little loosened up, but I'm gonna put him in that pose, that Road Warrior pose. Again, I love the shoulder pads. If you look side by side, I would say that the shoulder pads are much better on the new one. They look better. They're much more detailed. However, the original Elite here, if we're comparing them, has the gauntlets. This one does not. But to me, that's okay because I didn't always wear those gauntlets. And most figures don't have them. Man, it's tough. It's tough. So these say Road Warriors on them. These ones say Legion of Doom. Man, it's tough to say which one I prefer, man. They're both very good. Elements of each have their positives and their negatives, right? A lot of people complaining about the scale of these because Hawk is like slightly taller than Animal, and I'm pretty sure that I read Animal is like an inch shorter than him. Yeah, it's not on here. I'm pretty sure one is 6'1" and the other one is 6'3". So I would say it's pretty accurate, but I don't have those details on hand, but I do see what people are saying. He is like taller than Animal. But honestly, I just think Animal's head is scaled down. Here is the additional heads. We've got Animal wincing, and then my favorite, Hawk with the tongue out. So we're going to put that on Hawk right now. Again, I really wish I had my loose elites or access to them, but unfortunately, they are way back there, and it's going to be, it could be weeks before I get back there with so many figures that I have to display. But yeah, it's a shame because this Hawk is super loose. So I got to do something about that to get him a little bit more stable. But until then, we're going to open up this one, take a look. This is the one I was actually most excited about, the gray, because I really don't have this version of them in action figure form. So, all right, we're going to take Hawk's head out. They have very, very similar but different face paint. Obviously, Hawk's is basically identical. It is identical. So right there, side by side. The new Hawk here has the gray and red, which I think pops. The silver spikes on the front and the back as well. The black padding and all that different stuff. They're very, very similar, but I'm most excited about these gray ones because they are different from what we're used to with the typical red and black Road Warriors, right? This Hawk is much more stable. He's not as loose as the other. I do love all the detail on the hair. You can see every little strand in there and that little inverted mohawk, which is pretty cool. Straps on the boots. They look good. They look good. Anybody who says that these don't, you're lying. You're just, it doesn't make sense. These things sold out in like an hour and a half. Big buzz. Everybody's happy with them. You know, I understand like there's a lot to keep up with and you don't want the value of your original elites to go down, and I don't see why they have to. Okay. But the fact that somebody else is making some pretty good quality 6-inch scale figures for around the price range of what we see at retail, how could anybody be mad at that? This is a great thing. I'm hoping that since they put this Sabu out, the bell-to-bell Sabu out, when these came out, I'm hoping that means we're getting a Sabu in this line. I don't know. I'm not privy to that information, but I'm sure hoping that's the case. Again, we have Animal here. This one has Legion of Doom on the waistband as opposed to Road Warriors like the other. His tattoos, wrist tape. He's got the same exact pads as Hawk. Looks great. A little bit different face paint on this one. He's got some yellowish gold in there. All right. The striping of the red and white down the cheeks. Gold on the sides. Red knee pads. All black boots with the buckles. I dig this set more. And it might be because I'm so used to the red and black that it's nice to have a little change of something. If I were in charge of this line, I would have had one of the variants be the gold pads. I don't think there's enough gold pad representation of the Road Warriors, especially in figure form. So I think I would do that. But overall, these are good, man. This is something to be excited about. Are these perfect? No. And if you're looking for perfect, you're never going to find it. Every single figure I review, I could definitely go through it with a fine-tooth comb and find something that needs to be fixed. And that goes for anybody who produces figures. Same thing. They put a lot of love in these things, and at some point you got to say, all right, we got to push it through. We got to push it through. Time is money, baby. So I'm excited. I think there's a lot of reuse possibilities here with these. My critiques would be upscale the Animal head if you're ever going to reproduce it. But I think Hawk looks fine. The arms are a little bit skinny for the Road Warriors. You're talking about two massive, monstrous men. I think the arms could be bigger. I like the torsos. The scales there. I love the pads. Yeah, I mean, I think that these are a great start to a line, and with improvements, I can see this line being something that is competitive and is on those ringside top tens all the time. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Comment below. Let me know if you picked these up, if you guys like them. For those of you that don't know, these are available on back order right now. But for the two figures, it is $54.99. $54.99. Okay. At retail, after tax, it's $25 for an Elite. So these are right around that price point of retail for an Elite. This is a great thing. This is a great thing. I got to imagine when Zombie Slayer Toys puts out his 6-inch scale or 7-inch scale, whatever he calls it, it's probably going to be about $60 a figure. You're looking at $60 for two figures. So, got to take the good and the bad. For that price point, you got to expect there's going to be a couple things with it that you're like, it's not perfect, but nothing is. So, hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at FigHeal. Twitter is at TheFigHeal. Pick up the Wrestling Figure Encyclopedia, available now on Amazon.com, or simply go to HealBooks.com. Make sure you join Whatnot at WhatHeal.com, and you will get $15 off your first purchase. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace. Are you a wrestling figure collector of WWE Mattel, AEW Jazzwares, and everything in between? Then you need FigHeal's Wrestling Figure Encyclopedia, the modern edition covering all releases from 2010 to present day. Featuring over 5,000 photos of action figures from the hottest brands, including independent toy makers. Keep track of what you have, want, and need, including loose, mock, and overall collection value. With shots by Matthew Goldberg, the Wrestling Figure Encyclopedia is a must-have for collectors. Premium full-color and value black and white editions available now on Amazon.com. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at FigHeal. Pick up my book series on Amazon and my merchandise on ProWrestlingTees.com/FigHeal. Join my official sponsor, Whatnot, at WhatHeal.com and receive $15 off your first purchase.